Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really glad that you've come back to my channel and that you are here with me today. I'm going to share a really fun project with you today. I call this pattern a Crazy Love. It is a quilt as you go Valentine's Day pillow. Of course, you could use it all throughout the year like I plan to do. I've made 3 of them so far and it's so much fun. I will probably make some more. So let me show you my pillow. Again, it is a quilt as you go pattern, and if you'd like the pattern, it'll be in the description box below. It'll bring you over to the Etsy listing. I really think that this pattern is going to be pretty simple for you to create all on your own, but if you'd like some help, I do have the pattern for this. The link is down below. I'm also going to show you how I did the applique with one of my alphabet template stencils. And we're going to do a little bit of free motion work doing the applique. And I thought I'd show you a little tip about an unconventional way that I stuff my pillows and a way to use up some of the things that we have on hand. And then at the very end, I'd like to share some mail that I got from Mrs. Judie. And I got her package the other day. I opened it up right away because I could not wait until I made another video. And I would just like to share what I got from her. So that will be at the very end. Let's see, I think that's all the news for now. I'm really excited to get started, so let's get busy sewing.
We are ready to get started for today. I have my 2-inch simple letter template set. I have my Crazy Love pattern. I have some fabrics that are larger than all of my position pieces on my fabric map, a piece of 80/20 batting, and a piece of cotton for the backing. And let's just go ahead and set these fabrics off to the side. This is a 7-page PDF. It comes with fabric requirements and written instructions, but we're going to walk through everything in this video. So the first thing that we will do is go through each one of the pages and cut out our fabric map on the outside line. There is a little map, position map, that shows you where all of the pieces go. So I'll cut out this first piece with you so you get the idea. Just cutting along the outside line. And once you have all of these pieces cut, you will tape them together to form a fabric map that looks just like this. Now once your map is all taped together, I like to go and pre-fold all of my sewing lines to make the sewing process a little bit easier. And let's bring in our batting. We are going to pin our fabric map directly to the batting, just using a couple pins to make sure that the stencil does not move around while we are cutting out our heart shape. We're going to take a pair of scissors and go around the outside perimeter of the heart, cutting our batting to our pillow shape. So just going along and cutting out the batting, just like this. All the way back to the very beginning. We'll clean up this little bit at the bottom. And then we can remove the pins. And because our fabric map is pre-folded, this part will be a lot easier. I'm going to take a marker and fold on all of our pre-folded sewing lines and mark the sewing line for each position. Now I'm using a Sharpie, but you'll want to make sure that you are using a marker that does not bleed through the fabrics that you are using. I thought the Sharpie would show up better in this video. Now all of our lines have been marked and we can remove our fabric map. Now comes the fun part of adding some fabrics. We're going to start with position number 1. Make sure your fabric extends past all of your sewing lines by at least 1/4 of an inch and the outside perimeter of your heart. Fabric number 1, we're going to lay down on the batting with the pretty side facing up, and we're just going to pin that into place. That fabric extends a 1/4 inch beyond all of my sewing lines. Fabric number 2, we're going to make sure fits over that position, and we're going to lay it over top of fabric number 1 with the pretty side facing down and bring this to the sewing machine. I'm going to bring you along for this very first seam and show you how I sew a 1/4 inch seam, and then you'll just repeat this process between each one of the pieces. I'm sewing right along the edge of the fabric with a 1/4 inch seam allowance from the first sewing line all the way past the outside perimeter of the heart. We are back from the sewing machine, and there's my 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to take the pin out of the fabric from position number 1, and now I'm going to use a glue stick, and it's totally not necessary, but it helps the fabric stay in place as we are working along adding all of our pieces. I'm going to flip fabric number 2 into position, finger press, and then give that seam a good press, and we're going to dry the glue with a good hot iron. Now that that is nice and pressed, I'm going to go along this sewing seam, and I'm going to trim up fabric number 2, making sure that the fabric extends a 1/4 inch past that sewing line. We're ready to add fabric number 3. We're going to bring it in, make sure that it fits over top of position number 3, and then flip it right side down over your last 2 pieces and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm back from the sewing machine, and I'm just going to pause the video and pick back up so we are not wasting a lot of time. My seam is sewn, and I'm just going to press that into position over top of position number 3. We're going to add fabric number 4, repeating the same process. Sew a 1/4 inch seam, add a little bit of glue stick, flip the fabric over, give that a good press, and dry the glue and press that seam. And anytime your fabric extends a lot past your sewing line, you can trim it just like this, making sure to leave a good 1/4 inch past your sewing line. And now we're going to add the last fabric, position number 5. I'm back from sewing. We're going to add a little bit of glue and press this into place. We are only adding 5 fabrics to this pillow front, so this part actually goes by really, really fast. Now I'm going to bring in my backing fabric and give that a quick press. The backing fabric is pretty side facing up, and now we are going to lay our front of our pillow down and pin that into place, and we can trim all the extra bits of fabric at the same time that we are trimming the heart shape for the back of our pillow. Again, bringing in some scissors, I'm just going to go around the shape of the heart, which we've already pre-cut with the batting. And this ensures that the front of the pillow is exactly the same size as the back. Trimming all the way around. I always love the transformation from seeing all of the fabrics, all different sizes, and once you have trimmed everything and removed all the extra bits, when you flip the pillow front over, you get to see the big reveal of what your pillow is going to look like. Now there are all kinds of different things you could do with this pillow. Two of my other pillows I brought to the embroidery machine and added a little saying. Today I'm going to do some raw edge applique and add some words right in this space here. There are all different kinds of things that you could do with this pattern. The spaces are really nice and big, so you could do applique, you could add words. Today I'm using the 2-inch simple letter template set, and we're going to add I love you into my heart. This template set comes with uppercase and lowercase alphabet letters, and it also includes some numbers and some different symbols. For each of the uppercase and lowercase, I've included a right side up and a mirror image, and so if you are doing freezer paper raw edge applique, you are ready to go. And if you're using a fusible like heat and bond like I am today, then you can use the mirror image and do your tracing that way. So these letters are a lot of fun. You can add them to all different kinds of projects. I'm going to go through and trace out each one of my letters on some heat and bond light. Just like this. These template sets are also in my Etsy shop if you'd like to check them out. A link will be in the description box. So far I have simple letters and I have wonky letters, and there's 4 different sizes of each style letter that you could check out. Once you've traced all of the letters that you want to use, I'm just going to cut off all of the extra parts of the heat and bond and set that aside for another project. And now I can fuse this to the fabric that I want to use for my letters. Now I've fused and cut out all of my letters, and now I'm just arranging them in the order that I'd like them to go, and I can fuse them into place just like this. How cute is that? I love that you can customize your projects with different sayings. Now we can bring this to the sewing machine and stitch our letters down, quilting them at the same time. Now we're going to bring our pillow top over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to do some free motion work to stitch down our letters and quilt our letters at the same time. I'm going to bring up the bobbin thread to the top. And then I'm going to pull the top thread through that little presser foot. I would love an open toe foot for this machine. I've already spotted one on Amazon that I plan to order. Now I'm going to go through and do some free motion work and stitch down these letters, and just thought I would bring you along for the process so you can see how quick and easy it is to stitch down your letters when doing raw edge applique. Just going right inside each one of these letters. As I travel from one letter to the other, I'm just going to do a couple of stitches in the same place to lock them, and then I'm just going to jump from one letter to the next. Now, because this is a quilt as you go project, You really don't have to do any additional quilting once your pillow top is made, but just think of all of the different possibilities and different ways that you could quilt this little pillow top. I would love to hear if any of you have started doing free motion work and your experiences down below in the comments section. I would love to see your pictures too. If you want to share them, you can send them to me on Facebook or through my Etsy shop. You can send pictures. Just jumping from one place to another and stitching and quilting all at the same time. That was my bird. Coming up on the last letter now. And just like that, our letters are stitched down. And now we will trim all of the jump stitches. Now that we've trimmed all of the jump stitches from each one of our letters, you can see on the back side how everything is quilted. We're going to lay the back of our pillow with the pretty side facing up and our pillow front with the pretty side facing down, and we're going to pin our 2 layers together. And then you're going to bring this to the sewing machine and sew the perimeter of your heart with a 1/4 or 1/2 inch seam all the way around, making sure to leave an opening large enough that you can stuff your pillow. Now that I'm back from sewing my 2 layers together, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and do some small snips around the curvy parts of my pillow. And this just helps the seam lay nice and flat. Be sure not to cut into your seam. Go through and do all your snips, and then you can remove the pins and turn your pillow right side out. Now I have to admit I was very proud of myself this time. I usually make my openings too small to fit my hand into, so I was very glad that I left my opening a little larger this time. Now you can go through and flatten out all of your seams. And then we're going to come back to the opening and we're going to press your seam allowance to the inside of your heart, making it a lot easier to hand sew your pillow closed when we get to that part. Now I'm going to go around the perimeter of my pillow and give all of these seams a really good press. Just checking that opening and pressing one more time. And now we are ready to stuff our pillow. Now at the beginning of this video I said I wanted to share some tips about an unconventional way to stuff your pillow. I am using all of the little offcuts from my t-shirt quilts. I have bins and bins of these little pieces of t-shirts that get cut off while I'm making a quilt. I love to stuff my pillows with them. Harlan's aunt in Vermont has a quilt that was made a long time ago, a very long time ago, and that quilt is super heavy. And I love that quilt. Every time we go up there, I love to use that quilt. I know that a traditional batting was not used in this quilt. It was probably a blanket to give it the weight. So when I say unconventional way, I do believe that using scraps from other projects to stuff pillows and quilts has been done for years and years and years. And I love the weight that it adds to your pillows and your quilts. So you could use traditional polyfill to stuff your pillow, or you can use all your extra bits and keep them out of the landfills. Now we're going to come back to the opening and we're going to do a ladder stitch and close that up. And here we are with our finished pillow. I think it is super adorable. I did a ladder stitch to close up my pillow. And I have to say, I love the weight of using scraps in my pillows. So I'll bring in the other two pillows that I made. And I would love to see your pillows if you want to share on Facebook or Etsy. I would love to see your pictures. And let's see some mail from Judie.
First, I want to just thank you, Miss Judie, for sending me another package. It seems that you must still be cleaning out your crafting space and still finding all of these treasures. I was really excited. I was not expecting this. And so when I opened up the mailbox, you can imagine how excited I was. I got 2 more of the Ideals magazines. I guess that's a magazine, a book, magazine. What I really love about these are the graphics inside. And it's not just the graphics like that. How pretty would that be on a book cover? But you also have all of these poems. There's recipes, little stories, all of these wonderful graphics that you could use. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? You could I would actually frame that and hang that on the wall somewhere. That is how pretty the pictures are and the illustrations are in this book. There's all kinds of inspiration for projects. Again, recipes. How cute would this be as a border on a journal page? Yes, thank you so much for sending these to me. Guess what? I've already used them. I opened these up a couple days ago because I just couldn't wait until I filmed this video. And also there was some coloring book pages that she included. I think those would be really neat to include into some journals. Who loves coloring? I love to color, but my patience, like I'll get this section done and by this I have to move on to do something else. But I absolutely love it, and eventually I would finish this page, just not all at one time. But yeah, I've already started using some of the graphics in this book. I'm not going to tell you how, but I will say that I noticed on your package you had a whole bunch of different kinds of stamps. And the package was stamped with a message that said you're a stamp collector and to send the stamps back to you. So your stamps are on the way. I'm dropping them off this afternoon as soon as I'm done with this video. And so keep an eye out for that, Miss Judie. Yeah, look at all of the different graphics in this book. This reminds me, I want to plan an advent calendar project for next year. I totally ran out of space, or I ran out of time to do projects for this past Christmas. I would love to live there. Look how cute that is. Ooh, I like that one too. So yes, you know, I had never seen these books before. That is gorgeous. Until the last package that you sent me, and it had some in it. And that's when I really just fell in love with these magazines. And so, yeah, I was really surprised to see 2 more show up. There was even some music pages in one of these books. So thank you so much, Miss Judie. Just let you know, I really appreciate the fact that you've thought of me as you're still cleaning out your crafting space. And I really do appreciate that you have sent these to me. and oh yeah, there's the music page. That's what I was looking for. I love putting music into my journals. All right, I am off to go drop off a letter to Miss Judy with her stamps in it. I hope that you all have enjoyed the pattern that we shared today. And if you have any questions, you can jump down to the comment section below, and I'll try to be timely in getting back with you. And if you make any of these pillows, I would love to see your pictures. You can share your pictures over on Facebook. On my Facebook page, Lisa Capen Quilts, you can join my group, which I've changed the name to because I didn't want it to be all about me. And now we are called the Creative Crew, and I think that's much better fitting because it's not about me, it's about all of us, and we're all sharing. And it's not just about sewing and quilting, it's any genre of art projects that you do. We would love to be inspired by your pictures, and so you can share there. And if you don't do Facebook and you still want to send me one of your pictures, jump down to my Etsy shop and you can send me a message with a picture attached through Etsy. So I would love to see your projects and your little pillows. How adorable would this be accompanied with a box of chocolates for your Valentines? All right, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you really soon. Bye.